I got on my phone and started scrolling. Next thing I know, it's 11:30 at night and I'm like, shit, I got to go to bed. And I put the phone down and then I fell asleep, but I just started scrolling, and it was one of those scroll holes that you just fall into. And then what happens is it triggers your brain. And so now your brain doesn't shut off because it's processing all of these things, and you have these dopamine hits from the scrolling. And now you're like, I can't sleep.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 59 of the Big Fitness Show. My name is Stevie Richards. I am the second best YouTuber on this show, the second best video editor. Joining me is the absolute best one, and I watched his amazing Grit Runner Elite video. I'm not joking either. That was one of the best review videos I've ever seen, and I will steal a lot of elements from that. So thank you.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I did not expect you to put me over like that at the beginning of the show, but I'll take it.
It's absolutely true, man. You now have officially stepped into the YouTube reviewer realm.
Yes.
So congratulations. You will now
Thanks.
be trolled to no end from people that say that you're running on the treadmill wrong. You put it in, actually, right?
I'm looking forward to that. So, for those of you who don't know what Stevie's talking about, I just released a video on my channel at Big Mike Barons on YouTube. You can check it out if you want. It might be much appreciated, about the Grit Runner Elite treadmill that I have. And it's the first video that I've done as far as like a new review. Like, I'd reviewed supplements in the past, but that was kind of my bread and butter. So it was not as new and different for me. But thanks to Stevie, I kind of got the nudge and the encouragement to continue and do some other things and expand a little bit. And I can honestly say that I wouldn't have done it without him. I might have done it in a couple of years, but it wouldn't have happened this quickly. And so I'm excited about it. Released a video yesterday. It's already getting some decent views and some traction. So it's an exciting thing that we were talking about before we started recording. So check it out if you're interested in learning about a treadmill. So it's a pretty cool video. I think I did okay.
No, you did better than okay. I will say this, the point where I got extremely jealous, because I have a slap belt treadmill, the Soul Fitness ST90, which has a motor and hydraulics, which, for people that don't know, that makes it quite a bit heavier than your standard kinetic curve treadmill, which is off the grid. Yeah. When you lifted it up so easily like that, I was just like, well, no piano dolly needed to move that one. That was,
I was surprised at how easy. I mean, it's 290 pounds, so it's still heavy, but it just moves really, really well with the handle and stuff. So anyway, but we're not here to talk about treadmills today and not talk about review videos. We're here to talk about sleep. Sleep is something that
they might have already fallen asleep anyway, so we might have already did what we were supposed to do. You don't know if you find this show boring or not, but this is about sleep.
If you fell asleep, wake up, everyone. But this episode, we're going to talk about sleep. I think this is something that was kind of on my heart this morning, about just optimizing sleep, maximizing sleep, tips to get better sleep, because people underestimate how important sleep is to your whole health. Our goal here is to help you be more resilient, more self-reliant, and take better care of yourself so you can live healthier every single day. And sleep is one of those things that is super important to getting there, right? Like, a lot of times the culture breeds this idea of hustle culture, and you got to push and sleep. You can sleep when you're dead. I can't tell you how many times I've said that. But the reality is, to really maximize the life that you have to sleep, and you have to maximize that sleep. But I also know that sometimes, like me, it's hard to get a ton of sleep when you have life and things are in the way and things happen, and you got kids and you got work and you got family and you got other commitments and all these other things. And so it's really fine tuning how you do that. And I know for me, over the years, I have struggled with it at times, been really good at times, bounced back and forth, feel like I'm in an okay stage right now for sleep, to where I feel like I'm doing okay, but I've learned a lot on what I need to do to make sure I'm maximizing it. And I'm sure you have as well, when it comes to sleep, from traveling on the road and all that kind of stuff. So in this episode, we're going to share some tips and tricks and things that we can do to really optimize your sleep.
Yeah, more so, I think we're going to also add, don't make the mistakes, or be cognizant and aware that you are making those mistakes, because once you start, like you said, hustle culture and that toxic productivity, and you and I suffer from that. I turned around my light mirror video this morning and sent it to you. I had some B-roll and stuff, but I shot everything, edited, uploaded, got the thumbnail and all that stuff. And I think that's where we should start,
Yeah.
because how you spend your day and how your perspective on your productivity, you can go from either there's lazy people that think they're productive and they're busy, or make pretend they are, or they're busy for, with these little things that don't get them any kind of progress with their business or personal development. But you and I are the opposite and we're hyper accountability and being way too hard on yourself and feeling like you've never accomplished anything throughout the day will affect your sleep, because there's no wind down time from
Mm,
the gear of work and
yeah.
productivity to the gear of rest, recovery, wellness, and shutting it down. I think us being busy is the easy part,
Sure.
shutting it down and getting to sleep. And that's what I think we're going to try to talk through in this episode, because it's a definite struggle for us too. And I think it's definitely a struggle for millions of people out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like the productivity piece of it throughout the day is hard. I know for both of us, it's hard because we feel like we have so many things that we have going in our hands, and so many different things and so many different projects we want to do, so many things we want to do. And I think a lot of people can get in that sense. And so for everybody listen, I'm sure that it's one of those deals where you just feel like you have this entire list of things to do, and there's not enough time in the day. Nobody ever has enough time in the day. Everybody's constantly pulled a million different directions, and prioritizing that productivity during the day so that at night, when it comes time to shut down and go to sleep, you can do it at a decent time, and then you can fall asleep at a decent amount of time, and then you can sleep overnight and not have the wake up in the middle of the night and that thing jump into your head that you need to go do. Like you've talked about it in the past, where you would get up sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning and just have to go do right instead of going back to sleep and really maximizing your sleep. So I think being more productive, but then also taking an account of that productivity that you have during the day is maybe the first step when it comes to getting better sleep at night, is recognizing, okay, I got a lot done today, and being okay with that. And if you didn't, it's still taking that mental shutdown, like you talked about, to help get to the sleep part. If that makes sense, what I just
Yeah,
said.
it makes perfect sense. It's something too. I mean, we might hop around a little bit, but I think the theme of that, and also the other theme that you and I do an awful lot, I believe, is when we look at something and we enjoy working out, and we said, okay, how can we monetize our love for fitness, health,
Mhm.
nutrition, supplements, all that stuff? That's one thing. But there's certain times of the day where I want to sit down and play my buddy online in Madden or something, or play a video game. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, should I be streaming this or doing something, or can I
Oh,
monetize? And that's where you cross a line that's very dangerous,
sure.
because I feel like, you need to play as well. Even if you're 40, 50, 60, or whatever, you need to have something that you just do, a hobby that you
Yeah,
just do for fun, that you don't have to throw a camera in front of you, that you don't have to get on Instagram or YouTube, that you don't have to make content out of that. And I've told you, being full time within the content creation world for me for a few years, once you cross over and you flip that switch, and everything becomes potential content. Like, I'll give you an example just to now hand it back to you. My wife and I are going to go away next month for our anniversary, just for the night. And there's a cheap, or affordable, I shouldn't say, there's nothing cheap, um, resort hotel in Orlando. It's an easy
yeah,
drive, go there, has everything within that stuff. We can do Disney walk, we can eat, we can go to Universal, whatever we need to do. What do you think the first thing I think of? And it sucks because I feel bad. I was like, oh, we're going to be in a hotel. Should I bring like the X3 bar and do a review of a travel workout, or should I do?
sure.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, you have a month to make all these videos and put stuff in the queue and
Yeah,
just go away for a day. My wife gets it because she's thinking
sure.
the same thing. Like, can I
Yeah,
can I write my book when we're at the hotel? Will that be
yeah,
enough to? It's a very, very dangerous thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing,
Sure.
but too much of that good thing, of that motivation and everything can burn you out, and then you don't have any time, you don't have a segmented part of your day or life that
Hmm.
you can just enjoy and have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. When you're making a living the way that you are and the way that I am, and doing that, it can be overwhelming at times. Or if you're working a full-time job and then you got your side hustle and you got things that you want to do. I mean, I think everybody has a side hustle now of some sort, where you're just constantly working and trying to figure out how you can make things work and make more money and do more things and create more freedom and all this kind of stuff. And that's a great thing to have, but one of the balance is, like you're saying, is being able to shut that off. And I think one of the, just to share a quick story, the one of the best times, and not best times, one of the best things when it comes to shutting off my mind was when I had a job. I used to work at a Walmart distribution center, and it was a hard job, and I spent time, but what I loved about it, and it was shift work. I punched my clock, I went in, I did my work, and when I punched out, I was done. And I look back on that time and in my life is like it was great. Now, looking back on it now, I'm like, man, that was so nice to be able to go put in my time, punch my clock, make my money. And then when I got done, I shut off. I could come home. I would get off late at night sometimes, and I didn't have like an adrenaline rush or anything like that from like I do with the wrestling show when I'm come home, but my body just won't shut down. And there wasn't that. It was, I got done. My mind could shut off because I didn't need to focus on any of that work. I didn't have to go get new work. I didn't have to go come up with new things. And so then going to sleep, it made it easy because it was, one, a physical job. So I was tired, but then also my mind was able to shut off. So there is kind of a trade-off to where when you're like us in an entrepreneur mindset, you do have to find a way to shut that off so that you can sleep later at night. And whatever that looks like, I think we can talk about some things that we do. And I would love to hear what you do to help shut your mind off, because I think sometimes because you go to bed so much earlier, like, how do you do that? How do you get to yourself? So I'd love to hear what it is that you do every day to shut off, if you are able
You,
to.
you already know the answer. First, I want to tell you, just the other day, I was telling my wife, because I said, that I can't shut this off or let it go. And
Right.
it's always like, with our faith too, is like, there's a thing about gratitude, and you
Yeah.
lose sight of gratitude. Just where I was a year and a half ago, just be
Right.
able to walk and make any money is a
Right.
miracle. So I told my wife the other day, I said, man, I used to have a dream after I was done wrestling that I would just pump gas down by the beach at a gas station. And that would be my job. I'd just go pump gas, get a free tan, and go home. I mean, there's something to be said about that. Still might happen. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um, but I don't, Mike. I don't shut it off. And I
Mm.
think, in a way, we have a routine set up. And obviously,
Yeah.
people will be like, how in the world can you start getting ready for bed around 6:15, 6:30 at the very, very latest? How can you do that when it's still some like daylight out and stuff like that? It's just what we are. And I feel like that wind down time, and also being in business for myself, if I want to sit down and watch a YouTube video or watch a movie or do whatever and take that break, I can do it throughout the day. So the post work or after 5 p.m. unwinding, or people that hit the gym and end up going to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock to wake up at 5, we're completely reversed in going to bed
Mm.
6:30, or getting ready and then watching TV to unwind a little bit, which we'll get into that. It might not be the best thing,
Sure.
but it's a body clock thing. And for me, waking up at 3:30 is the easy part, because almost every single one of my flights when I wrestled, and I was on TV for 20 years, or even wrestling 10, 11 years after that, it was always the first flight out and the first flight back.
Yeah.
So I was
Sure.
always up at 2:33. Oh, thumbs up. There you go. There you go, Mike. I haven't given you one of these in a while. There you go.
There you go.
I love your YouTube video, Mike, on the Grip Runner Elite. But But my body clock has always been used to getting up early for the flights, for the
Mm,
gym, because the afternoon workouts never served me. So there's
sure.
very much a body clock thing. And then my wife adjusted to that, but it's our time together.
Yeah.
Now, as far as falling asleep, this I'll finish up with this. Falling asleep has always been the easy part for me.
Mm,
Staying asleep
mm,
throughout the 12:30, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., you have a different situation you could talk about with your family and your kids, especially the CBD, or more specifically CBN, with a
mhm.
little THC, has been the key to
Yeah.
unlocking more sleep and staying asleep longer, and then getting up without the, you know, whenever I was taking the, the Z-Quil or anything back in the day before CBN or CBD, never gave me the quality sleep, the length of sleep, and the lack of any kind of hangover or kind of, foggy feeling after taking that stuff. So CBN, more specifically than CBD, has been the main element or supplement for quality sleep that given me more sleep over the months and years.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's huge. Being able to have that and add that in and stay the falling asleep thing. I have, I don't know that I've ever really had a problem falling asleep when I am like ready to fall asleep, like I, when it's time to go to sleep, I'm been burning the candle at both ends all day anyways. So like, it's just, I'm going to crash. But there is times where I have to go through that wind down period and shut down and making myself shut off, making my brain shut off, the getting to sleep, the staying asleep has been better lately. Actually, the kids haven't been waking me up in the middle of the night, but there was a season of my life where I didn't have a solid night's sleep at all. I just every night was broken in some way. Lately, the last few months, surprisingly, it hasn't been bad. Like I would go a whole week with unbroken sleep, which is awesome, and it's just not getting the maximum amount of it. And so making it so that I set up a routine at night to just share what I do to get myself to sleep. Um, and you mentioned the TV thing. I want to share my thoughts on that real quick. If you want to watch TV before you go to bed, fine. I don't care. Like I don't know that people can shit all over it if they want, but I really don't think that that's a big problem. But I think where it becomes a problem is when you're watching things that engage your mind all the time that you've never seen before. So then you're like, oh, it's new and it's exciting, and then so your brain won't shut down. But my wife likes to fall asleep with the TV on. We watch old episodes of Roseanne every night. Like, and it's usually the same episode. She's seen them all a million times. So it's just something it's to her, that's the relaxing thing is just she puts on this episode. I used to watch a movie before. I know you've watched The Dark Knight a million times before you fall asleep because
Close to the
that's
actual number.
well, yeah, yeah, easy. And so, like, and I used to watch Star Wars. There was a period of my life where I would watch romantic comedies before I fell asleep, and it was stuff that I'd seen a million times. But I would just put it on and fall asleep with it on, and then once the movie was over, the TV would shut off, put a sleep timer on, and then whatever. But it was just my way of relaxing. And so now my wife and I kind of have a routine. She puts Roseanne on. She watches Roseanne. Well, I put it on for her. She watches that. And then I have my app on my phone called the Calm app that tells me a sleep story. I listen to pretty much the same sleep story every single night. And I put it right by my ear, so I can hear it because I don't like, she doesn't like to hear that, and she keeps the TV real low and whatever. So I don't want conflicting, but I keep it real low so only I can hear it. And then I lay down and I fall asleep. And within minutes of me being like, okay, I'm going to bed, and I'll say goodnight. And then I put the sleep story on, and within a few minutes I fall asleep because it's just that's routine that I have been built into my mind and gotten to the point where it makes falling asleep super easy. Now where I struggle is the waking up. The falling asleep's easy. The staying asleep is pretty easy if I don't have a child interrupting or my wife's blood sugar doesn't go low or something like that. The waking up part is what's a struggle for me, and I think it's a reciprocation of years of not sleeping through the night. Like my oldest daughter didn't sleep through the night until she was like almost 5. And by that time I had another kid. So it was another kid waking me up in the middle of the night. And so I didn't sleep at all. And my body's just like, dude, you need to sleep. And so getting up in the mornings, I want to get up at 5 o'clock every day. I want to get up before 5 and get in the gym and all that kind of stuff. But man, as of late, holy crap, I'm struggling to get out of bed at 6:15, struggling to get out of bed at 6:30. Today it was 6:30 before I got out of bed, which I feel like such a turd on those mornings when I wake up. But it's just my body saying to me, Mike, you need to sleep. And that was part of the prompting for even having this conversation today was I'm sleeping lately has been hard. But it's because it's been my body saying you need to sleep more because I've been going to bed a little bit later and not getting a decent amount of sleep, and my circadian rhythm has just been off because I'm trying to wake up at different times but staying up late, and life's just been busy, and the sleep piece, one of the things that I've learned and experimented with when it comes to this sleep is, and this is where I feel like a lot of people can run into trouble, and a lot of guys listening might have problems. Caffeine. That's a whole conversation about sleep and how importance of caffeine as it relates to your sleep. I have noticed, and this is what I'm experiencing right now, is I have felt like lately that I need to get more stuff done. I need to be more productive. I need to be hyper productive every day. And I know you can understand where I'm coming from with this. But the hyper productivity is like, well, I need more energy to do this. I need more energy for my caffeine. And so I drink more caffeine. And so then I have more caffeine, and it's not so much the amount of caffeine, because it's still not a lot. I mean, I think it's most days maximum caffeine for me as of late is still under 400 milligrams of caffeine, which a normal dose, a safe recommended dose, which you can put whatever stock in those you want, is around 300. So, and it's all safe, but I used to drink 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day, which was just stupid. Right. And so, but now my caffeine intake is much, 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 much less. But what I've noticed is the timing of that caffeine. So I had caffeine before we started recording. I'll probably drink a little bit more after we get done, but it's when I have caffeine past noon, I don't sleep as good at night. And then waking up is so much harder for me. But I tested this. I went through a phase where a couple weeks, I had a cup of coffee in the morning, and that was it. And that was all the caffeine I had all day. Those next days, the next morning, after I was all the caffeine I had, I woke up, no problem. I had no problem waking up. I slept great. I felt refreshed the next day. And it was a drastic difference with the timing of the caffeine. So what I'm trying to experiment with now a little bit, kind of, is making my timing all be before noon and not having any more caffeine after noon to help me fall asleep better, because caffeine stays in your system for so long and it makes me wake up better. And I'm proving to myself as of late, the last 2 weeks at least, I've been drinking caffeine at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it just is wrecking my sleep the next day. I can't wake up. It's killing me.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've both have probably done 2-a-days in the past, and you have shifted sometimes your workouts from the morning to the afternoon.
Sure.
I'm sure just that alone, because as you're talking about working out, I was tempted to do some afternoon cardio outside this afternoon. But the same thing.
Sure.
Like if it's even 12 noon and I'm drinking, an energy drink or even half a serving, like 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
There's something about that timing, no matter what it is, that will just, and I'm the opposite way. It will hinder me falling asleep, which it's bookended. It doesn't matter whether you have trouble waking up or falling asleep. It's still affecting that sleep. There's no worse feeling though than falling asleep and then waking up at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you are awake and you don't have enough rest.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, I say, okay, I might as well work out. I'm up. I'm not going to be able to fall back asleep. That's dangerous. And I think that led to me getting COVID that second time. because
Mm,
my immune system, I did that quite a few times within a week. And
sure.
then I was out for like 2, 3
Sure.
days.
Sure. I bet. Well, I think that's one of the effects of lack of sleep that needs to be stressed here for everybody listening is, and for me too, and for you is our immune system gets compromised when we don't have recover when we don't sleep. And so we've done episodes in the past on recovery and how important the importance of recovery. Sleep is the most important piece when it comes to recovery. Like we can get all the fancy equipment and do all the cool tools and get your sauna and get your ice baths and do all these kind of things. But if you're not having a baseline foundation of sleep, then you're killing your immune system. You're killing your body for the recovery. Growth, and we talk about this in the fitness industry, people always talk about gains happening in the gym. No, you prime your gains in the gym, but your gains actually happen when you're when you're recovering and when you're sleeping. And because that's when your body regenerates itself. That's when all the other, if you think about it like a mechanical processes, that's when everything else shuts down because your brain's not firing, you're not doing all these things where you're having to communicate. And then you go to bare necessities when you're sleeping, and your body's like, okay, now it's time to rebuild and recover. And if you don't sleep and you do that long enough, you're never getting to a point of full recovery. So, for example, if you're lifting weights and you want to build muscle, okay, cool. You're going to do a heavy session in the gym. You're going to work out really, really hard. But if you don't then sleep that night and recover, you're going to be at a deficit in your recovery. And then over time, you're just going to be in such a deep hole that you're going to have a hell of a time trying to come out of it. And most people, that comes with sleep and nutrition. And if you don't dial those two things in and really focus on them, your training is only going to take you so far. The things that you do every single day are only going to take you so far because you're not focused on sleep and recovery. And now I know this, I sound like to myself, I feel like a hypocrite saying this sleep and recovery and nutrition and things because I don't always follow it specifically from the sleep perspective. I know the importance of it, and I know the days when I do get sleep, I feel so much better. But on the days when I don't, like this morning, I didn't sleep that great. I had a hard time waking up this morning, and I just feel off, just a little bit off because of the fact that I didn't sleep. Had a good workout yesterday, felt good about that. Ate pretty good yesterday, so I feel good about that. But that lack of sleep just really kind of made me feel off. And so, yes, it's ideal. I don't prescribe to the got to get 8, 9 hours of sleep, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. It's what's good for you. I think everybody's different. And I think for me, optimally, I operate really well at like 6.5 hours of sleep. And last night I didn't get that. And so it just really is dependent on you, but you got to take the time and figure that out and really focus in on the amount of sleep that you need to have, making that a priority and doing the things so that you can actually recover and feel better every day with just every day, like your body, you feel better because you sleep. People, I feel like I am guilty of underestimating the importance of sleep my whole life. And now in my 40s, it's like, oh, that whole sleep thing is kind of important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can talk about that as far as sleep. And I'm surprised you and I haven't gotten an affiliate partnership with any bed companies or mattress companies because maybe after this episode, because that's the one thing like I I always tended to cheap out on
Mm,
mattresses, box springs, brands, whatever it was. I would go, the best thing I would ever do is go to Costco and get their memory foam mattress for like three,
sure.
400 bucks and do whatever. And I found as I got older, and especially even before the spine infection, my back was always hurting. I was at that point at the end of my career where your back is just sore all the time because
Sure.
the bumps are taking a more of a toll and the recovery is not happening. I would never guess if you asked me 5 years ago that I would go in to like a mattress firm or a store or whatever and just buy Tempur-Pedic. I want this one and not the most expensive one, but not anywhere near the cheapest one.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say you were crazy, but now it was like the best, however
Mm,
many thousands of dollars we spent because we know we're sleeping there, hopefully more hours than less, and
sure.
it's going to be really important for me to perform. And
Yeah.
that's probably the most important investment of any, the hot tub, the cold plunge, the sauna, a mattress, a quality
Mm.
mattress over the course of 10, hopefully 12, 15 years, if it lasts, will be your number one recovery investment.
Yeah. With your mattress, I'm just curious, do you have one of those memory foam ones, or what kind of mattress do you have?
Tempur-Pedic, the actual brand, not the knockoff. We got a Tempur-Pedic hybrid, but it's no spring, it's memory foam,
Yep.
and it's got the cooling stuff, but it's nowhere near
Oh.
the super expensive one. But it wasn't cheap, and we tried a $500 Sleepy's or whatever the mattress firm brand was.
Yeah.
After one night, it was like, call. We went right back up there. No, can you swap it out? We don't need we don't need the 100 days. I
Yeah.
can't last that long. And it made a difference. And
Yeah.
if I was to even invest even more and not be such a sissy with the heavy adjustable box spring, we
Yeah.
would have got the adjustable thing and made sure,
Oh,
because we like to sit up or whatever.
sure.
And but yeah, I mean that, and you have your Casper, you got Sleep Aid, you have all sorts of the
Right.
mattresses, and then even the ones that cool the mattress that
Right.
can help you sleep deeper and better. Because the worst thing is laying in the bed and you're heating up. You're never going to
Mm.
fall asleep. So
Mhm.
I would say that just going back to that, I don't regret, even though when I think about the money, I sort of get sick. I don't regret buying a quality mattress to sleep on every night for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
Let's get
that's
the let's
something.
get the come on, let's get those brands out there. Bring it in. Come on, we'll be happy to review it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good talking point on the sleep piece of it, because I feel like, and this could be partly because of just being a wrestler and my back being stiff, but I feel like my back throughout the day is fine. But when I wake up in the mornings, I feel like it's super stiff, and it's hard. It's hard to move. Not hard to move. Like, I'm definitely, it's still fine. It just, but I think it's in part because of the mattress that we have. We've had this mattress. I think we have a Sealy deal too. The one we bought was like $2,500, which is more money than I've ever spent on a mattress in my entire life. I mean, most of my other mattresses were gimmies. I got them for free from a family or something like that, right? And so when we bought this mattress, I was like, okay, we need something that is going to hold up to me, right? I'm 6'5", I weigh 275 pounds. So I need a good mattress that's going to hold my body. And one of those memory foams, I was like, okay, let's try that. Let's see if it's good. And it's got the foam top, and it's nice and soft and super comfortable. My wife loves it. Um, I feel like over time, those mattresses are supposed to hold their, uh, hold their structure and hold their form and bounce back after you use them. I feel like mine is so beaten up over the years because of my big ass, like just sleeping on it. It's just kind of worn a dent. So now, like, the memory foam, instead of caving in a little bit, it caves in like twice as much. And so then I wake up in the morning and my back is killing me because it's overcompensating for my weight. And it's like not big enough to hold me. And so
Yeah.
I'm in the market for a mattress in my head. I don't want to buy one because I spent so damn much money on the one that I have, and we've only had it for, oh shoot, I want to say 5 years, 6 years, maybe. So it's really not even at the end of its life. But as a bigger guy, I feel like I've just worn a dent in it. And then I switch them. I've rotated it a couple times, but the same thing. It can't withstand the weight. And I feel like that's part of the problem with my low back pain that I've been having lately
No, I had
is
the
the
same thing with a
mattress.
spring mattress. Same
Yeah.
thing, dude.
Yeah.
Spring mattresses will wear down. You used to check the warranty. They got a pretty decent warranty. Might
Oh,
be able to get
yeah.
a new
That's a good
one.
idea.
You're only
Yeah.
5 years in. But really, I mean, that's the one thing with I'm gonna start reaching out to mattress companies again. I think we should
Oh, there
do
you
it together.
go.
No, because it's a big deal over 40 and
Sure.
over 50. The mattress is a very, very important part. We paid about 3 grand for ours, and I looked at it, I was like, oh my God. And that wasn't even near the most expensive one. Like they had like once you get into the ones that are like that really fancy gray or black hybrid color. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
going near those down there. No, no, we'll stay over here in the middle part. But
Oh,
but
shoot.
there's ones, even a purple mattress has a great reputation. I mean, it's
Sure.
mixed. It's all according to what you do. But there's certain materials that will hold up to
Yeah.
the test of time. And it's it's just super important. The money we're talking about, yeah, it's not easy to let go of that. And God knows, I mean, honestly, I've tried to get review mattresses so I didn't have to
Yeah,
pay for the
sure.
mattress. But that just proved how important it was because at the end of the day, I wasn't waiting forever to partner with a brand to send out the mattress. I was like, we need this now because
Yeah.
sleep is so important. So
Yeah.
if you're going to spend money, we talk about fitness equipment, we talk about supplements, we talk about recovery devices, buy a good mattress
Yeah.
before anything because everything else that you do, weightlifting, cardio, eating well, doing all that stuff, keeping stress out of your life, you can say more than I can right now. You don't sleep well, you're done. All
Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
Yep. It's true. It's very true. Yep. I agree. And the mattress piece of it is a it's a big piece. I understand they are expensive, so it might be hard to change it. But there's other things you can do. And like I think from a getting a good mattress, making sure you're shutting down your mind, limiting the amount of caffeine that you have every single day, those couple things will drastically change the sleep that you have. And if you can't change your mattress, okay, let's focus on shutting down your mind, taking some time. If that's reading, um, if you do need to watch TV, watch reruns, watch something you've seen a million times. If you have a meditation app, something like that is a good way to help shut down your mind. I've been doing that for a long time. And then limiting the amount of caffeine that you have. And then there's one other thing that we haven't touched on yet when it comes to sleep is these bad boys, our phones,
Oh God,
and
man.
how much they trigger sleep. Now I understand phones have become a necessity. Everybody has their phone. I get it. Like I get it. And uh I've been guilty of this. I'm not saying that I'm scot free of it. I'll sit in my bed and scroll, right? Like everybody, most people will do that now. But what I've noticed on the nights where I come into bed and I turn my sleep app on, I have it there, but I don't scroll. I don't check emails. I don't do anything. I just come into bed, or take a shower, get in bed, put my thing on, and then actually go to sleep. Those nights, falling asleep's easy. I go to bed at a decent time. The other night, though, I got on my phone and started scrolling. Next thing I know, it's 11:30 at night, and I'm like, "Shit, I gotta go to bed." And I put the phone down, and then I fell asleep. But I just started scrolling, and it was one of those scroll holes that you just fall into. And then what happens is it triggers your brain, and so now your brain doesn't shut off because it's processing all of these things, and you have these dopamine hits from the scrolling, and now you're like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm excited. I'm looking for more. I want more dopamine, and then you don't sleep at all. And so I would encourage everyone to get to the point where they don't scroll at night. You can keep your phone in your room, fine. I get it. If that's your alarm clock, okay, whatever, no problem. But if you could get to the point where you stop your scrolling at whatever time and you go to bed, let's say it's 10 o'clock. You stop your scrolling at 10, put your phone down at 10 o'clock so that you can fall asleep by 10:30, 11, if that works in your schedule. If you're wanting to go to bed earlier, fine. Put the phone down at 9 o'clock. If it works for you and you don't need your phone for an alarm clock, you got an old school alarm clock, great. Put your phone in the other room. I'm not going to do that because I use the app, but I've actually thought about purchasing. They have this, my kids have a sound machine that they use
Yeah, we have the
that
same
is,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's called the Hatch. Have you seen those? The
We just
Hatch?
got the sound machine, the sleep machine
Oh,
that makes the white and black noise and stuff like that. Yeah.
there's this thing called the Hatch, and my kids have it, and so it's got like a night light on it, but it has a sound machine also, and so the sound machine kicks on, and that's what they use to go to sleep, and it helps them go to sleep. But then it also has like a built-in like sunrise feature. I thought about getting that, and then just putting my phone in the other room so that I can use that as my sleep thing and
Oh,
do
that's like
sleep
the
stories
the
through that.
Philips Hue thing that mimics
Kinda, yeah.
sunrise. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. And so like just different things that you can do with your forgetting your phone. I I give my wife a hard time all the time because she is someone who will just scroll. And then she complains to me about not sleeping. And I'm like, well, you should probably not pick up your phone in the middle of the night when you get up to go pee. You should probably just leave the phone alone and you'll go back to sleep. So it's just one of those deals. I think those things will just drastically change the quality of sleep that you have every single day.
I'll give advice. And I used to take the phone, even if I had to go in and use the bathroom real quick, I
Yeah,
would bring it. Now I don't bring it. Now
sure.
and I actually push the phone as far away from me as possible because
Good.
of the EMF or whatever is coming off of the phone that could really affect you. There are frequency elements that are negative if you have that right by you. So
Sure.
I would definitely recommend, even if you got a Bluetooth speaker or device, put that phone as far away from you as you can.
So
And I would
sleeping
tell
with it
people
right
if
here isn't a good idea. Right
yeah,
here
you
next to
put
my head.
it, you just put here. Ooh, ooh. Mike Barron's dies of mouth cancer 3 days after falling asleep with it in his mouth.
Oh, I love it.
I will give this advice too, and it's kind of a cynical, sarcastic comment, but a truth. You know what makes me sleep more in the bed every night or get as much sleep as possible?
What's that?
Because I paid friggin' $3,000 for the mattress. So I'm gonna spend time in that thing, not wasting my money.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really like if you, in all seriousness, if you buy expensive gym equipment,
Yeah.
you invested in that. Now you better get the use out of it. So I
Yep.
think if you apply that logic to a mattress, you break it down by the hour that you spend in it. You're like, okay, well, this is a pretty good deal over the course of 5 or 10 years, hopefully
Yeah.
more that you can get out of it. And then you talk about the warranty. Maybe you just never thought about calling Sealy or contacting customer service and they might just swap it out for a brand new mattress.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to find out about that today.
Did you buy it in a specific store, just off topic? Because I think even Mattress Firm, if you get the warranty, or sometimes they can facilitate the warranty via the
Mm.
manufacturer. I'm not sure if that's true, but go directly to Sealy and see what they say.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, we bought it at like a Value City Furniture or something like that, and so I'll have to see how long ago it was because it might have been more than 5 years now that I'm thinking about it.
But
But
most of them
either
have
way,
10-year warranties, though. I mean, is it
oh
over 10?
no, it's definitely not over 10. Definitely not. So
I'll
yeah,
give you
I'll
a
have to
little bit
check
of
on.
advice. I was going to give it the off air. You say, yeah, I'm just doing this and that. And actually, I was just making a video. I have a YouTube channel where
There you go.
I wanted to talk about proper sleep for men over 50. And it'd be great if like I could actually say, I had this warranty and then Sealy swapped it out. That would be cool.
Love it. Always working.
Hey, you spent $2,500. Do
Yeah,
you want to
amen.
do? Okay, I'm just saying. Do you want to spend another
Amen,
three
dude.
grand?
Amen.
Okay,
Nope,
just
sure don't.
okay. There you go. It's
I
not a
love
carny thing. You do have a YouTube channel.
it. All of our wrestling listeners, wrestling buddies.
Yeah. Hey,
They know
remember
what's
what
up.
day? Hey, you know what you should say? The title of this episode should be in honor of our fearless former leader Vince McMahon. There is no sleep. He used to say that all the time. There is no sleep and there is no
Fair
sick. And so well, I know they're sick out there. I know. I'll let it go. I'll stop now.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I appreciate it. So, all right. Well, hey, let's wrap this up. That's our tips on sleep. I hope you got some value from this episode. Sleep's important. It's probably the most important thing for recovery. It's the best recovery investment that you're going to make on any equipment or anything like that. So focus on it. Put the phone down, stop scrolling, get some sleep. For the Big Fitness Show, this has been episode 59 for myself, for Big Stevie Cool. We appreciate you guys. We really do. Leave us a comment. If you got questions, if you got some value from this, share it with somebody. That would be awesome to help us grow the show and reach more guys and help more guys live healthier every single day. That's our goal here. So anyways, thanks everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode.
Purple Mattress sponsors.